To order the the February 2019 meeting of the New Ulm Public Utilities Commission. First item on the agenda is to review the minutes from January 22nd and February 15th.
Move to approve the minutes from the January 22nd meeting and the special meeting held February 15th, 2019.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion to approve the minutes of the annual meeting January 22nd and special meeting February 15th indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is our report for the monthly utility operations.
Commissioners, we'll do a brief overview of the activities. I'll start with electric production. They continued working with NALCO and AMPI on Cal Water issues, and then met with Firmenich on their expansion plans. Moving over to gas. They had 52 meters set, 15 gas leak calls, 8 carbon monoxide calls, and 11 Gopher State 1 calls for the month of January. Wastewater treated about 64 million gallons of wastewater, and they continue with their biosolid equipment maintenance. Water and district energy, they started producing bleach with their on-site sodium hypochlorite generation system, and then they started feeding bleach during work hours and feeding gas chlorine for the after-hours work. They repaired a water main, 2 water main breaks, one at 1602 North Franklin and another one at 16th North and State Street. Energy services, they finished their Department of Commerce qualifying facilities report and their distributed generation report. And then engineering, they continue working with the integrated resource plan project. They had a conference call with Black and Veatch, and they anticipate the completion of the plan in April of 2019. For human resource activities, we're looking at recruiting for the utility director. That notice will go out hopefully Friday, but Monday at the latest. We're gonna, our human resource director is gonna post that. We're gonna do the recruitment ourselves and see the type of candidates we get, and if the candidates don't meet the requirements or it's not a good pool, we can go out and look at other options, but we're going to see what we can do for this first initial round. And then for as far as injuries go, there was one wastewater treatment plant that suffered a thumb injury, but there was no medical attention. And then electrical distribution department, an employee suffered an eye injury. Medical attention was required, but there was no lost time. And that's end of the report.
Okay, move to receive and order filed the report regarding the monthly utility operations.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the report or the motion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is to recognize Jagger Hoffman, our employee of the month.
Okay. So Jaeger Hoffman is a corrosion tech with the gas department, and he's being recognized for his customer service. A homeowner had called the gas department to say how professional and pleasant Jaeger's performance was when he went on a call. And this type of customer service, I think, should be recognized because it's the service that we should be giving the customers in the city and what they should be expecting when we come out to address issues. And on top of that, it's Jaeger's excellent work ethic and self-motivation that makes him an asset to the gas department and the utilities overall.
So
I'll make a motion to recognize Jaeger Huffman, corrosion technician in the gas department, as employee of the month.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of recognizing Jaeger Hoffman as Employee of the Month for the PUC indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and thank you to Jaeger. The next item is under old business to reconsider our decision to change the color of our trucks.
So last month, it was decided to change the colors from blue to white, and I would like you to reconsider that and change it back to blue, remaining the same. Currently, the trucks in the city all follow a color scheme. So park and rec vehicle trucks are green, street department are yellow, and utility trucks are blue. So that way, residents can identify which trucks the departments belong to, or a resident can call anyone in the city and, hey, there's a yellow truck blocking my driveway, or a yellow truck did something. We can, okay, that's the street department. We know who to call. And also during, in that item, it was stated that the approximate cost savings was $6,000, and that was inaccurate. The HR director and myself, we pulled invoices, and we saw that it was between $0 and $700 per truck to paint it blue. If it was a normal truck and it was standard blue, it didn't cost anything. For your bigger trucks, it was our largest invoice we saw was $700. So it's my recommendation to kind of just keep it blue, especially in the snow. You can see the colors, and you're not going to run into a white truck, even though they have the flashing lights. So.
Okay, I'll offer the motion to reverse last month's decision to change future public utility vehicles color to white.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of reversing our decision to change vehicle colors on the public utility vehicles indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now, on to new business. The first item is to consider appointment of an interim utilities director.
So it's my recommendation to either appoint Chris Mannerfeld, the Assistant Finance Director of Utilities, or Dan Persig, the Utility Engineer, as the interim director. The Personnel Committee for the Public Utilities recommends appointing Chris Mannerfeld as the interim. It is my feeling that either one can do the job. I think they both have the knowledge to run the system. They've both been there a long time, so they know the workings, and both can keep the ship moving in a forward direction. So really, we're looking for you to decide as a commission which one you would like to appoint as interim director.
And there was a secondary note on budgetary fiscal issues. You're also recommending the pay be adjusted to the...
Yeah, to step one of the director's pay, which is $103,584.
And that's while the individual is acting in that position.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's not a...
So the
Permanent
pay goes
position.
back.
It goes back to
when
where they
they-
were when they go back to
Okay.
their normal position, yeah.
Okay, I'll offer the motion based on the Personnel Committee's recommendation to appoint Chris Manderfeld as the interim utilities director.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
I would like us to consider a third person. I feel that I know Chris and Dan could do a good job, but we've been out without a director, or we had a director for only 5 months. Before that, we were without a director for quite a while. I would like to put in Brian Grommet's name. He's familiar with the PUC. We don't have a city manager, we've got an assistant city manager. And to not have a public utilities full-time, because this would be Chris and Dan's part-time only.
So is that something the personnel committee or the
Well-
city manager?
Usually when you appoint an interim director, they tend to be an employee of the city. And officially, Brian is not an employee of the city. I know he has his severance package, but part of his separation agreement was that his employment with the city is effectively terminated. But again, you can make, it's your decision on who you would like to appoint, but I still would recommend either Chris or Dan be appointed because they are currently employees, currently in the office. And like I said, I think can do the job until we get the director in place. But
So, probably can't talk about the details, but I'm wondering, is it possible that even if the commission were to consider Mr. Grommet, that's not even an option under the other existing arrangements? If it's not an option, that would make the decision easy here.
I don't think it would be, but Tom might be able to.
If we need to consider that, then this would have to be something we'd have to move to next month. I did not anticipate someone was going to be
So you don't know for sure.
nominating people outside of the budget action, recommended budget action. And if this is something you're seriously considering doing, then I would have to request that we be given more time to look into this.
Doesn't the city council have to approve?
That
I don't think
Not
city council has
this.
to approve our interim director.
not interim director, no.
You know, we did discuss other alternatives or outside of the PUC too, but I think we all felt that Chris and Dan are fully capable of handling this. Maybe offer some stability since they're right here within the PUC. So I guess I stand by our recommendation for Chris.
Yeah, as do I.
You think being part-time is going to work?
Has Brian sought this? You're smiling, okay.
Well, I
We
think
have
for-
two names in front of us. I don't know if we're going to be bringing other people in. I don't think it's something we should do on this short notice.
Commissioner Shauna's had a question. Did you want to, what was your question that you were in the middle of? Or did you? Okay.
Your question was, or do they have enough time? And
Right.
it's my understanding you did speak with Chris and Dan. You've gone over their job duties. We are still going to be in the process, so hopefully we can fill the position as well, and that it won't be that long. But I think they can handle.
I think so too, yeah.
And I think ultimately what we're looking for is leadership.
Mm-hmm.
They would continue to do their current job, but provide
Exactly.
leadership to the group as a whole and be that go-between
Mm-hmm.
between Chris and the rest of the department.
Between Chris and Chris.
Between Chris and, yeah.
Right. I would agree. We have strong department heads, so. Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the past, we've operated without an interim director, right? And this is the city manager, which was Brian, basically acted in that role,
Yes,
but
he did.
with relying heavily on the department heads that we had in place, and still have in place. So, yeah, I would stand by our personnel committee recommendation and my motion.
Did we already have a motion?
Motion and
Oh, we're
second.
just under discussion? Okay, is there any more discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor of appointing Chris Manderfeld, interim utilities director, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign? The motion carries. And then do you need a motion regarding the compensation, or is,
I
no?
think that's
Okay,
all-inclusive.
all right.
Wouldn't hurt to.
Okay.
Okay. I'll addend my motion to include adjusting the pay.
Why don't you just
To-
make a new motion to
Okay.
add, just,
I'll make a motion for the interim director's pay to be in line with step one of the utility director's pay scale.
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor of the motion, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The next item is to discuss carryovers from 2018. Ms. Interim Director Vanderbilt? Thank you.
President Heine, Commissioners. This is kind of a housekeeping issue at the end of the year. There are projects and POs that are budgeted in the 2018 budget that don't necessarily get finished by the end of 2018. And so there's a list of items here that a lot of them have purchase orders or they're ongoing projects that we're asking that we modify the 2019 budget to include the 2018 projects. So if you have any questions about any of the items that are on the list, I can try to answer them. Otherwise, I'm asking for authorization to rebudget these funds for 19.
Move to approve the year-end carryovers for the year ended December 31st, 2018, as noted below.
I'll second.
Any discussion? On the motion to approve year-end carryovers for the year ended December 31, 2018 for the items listed on the issue sheet, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
The next item is to consider a power plant arc flash study update.
I thought George was going to present.
Commissioners, it's come to our notice that our arc flash study was done in 2010 the last time. It is to be updated every 5 years or any major modifications. We did put the back pressure turbines, redo the 2400 switchgear in 2014. So we're asking to review all that, and according to the NFPA, it needs to be done every 5 years. And they just came out with new standards for it, so they'll be updating everything right now. It's a professional services contract with PSE for $9,750.
Would we do this in like the water department also? Is this like a citywide,
This is strictly the
Study.
power plant I'm doing.
just the power plant?
Yep. I know with substations, everything else, they have their own, every 5 years they have to be done also.
Yeah, it's pretty important. I'd just add, being in the manufacturing side, this is a very important safety program. And it's really important where we have high voltages that the electric department deals with. The consequences for failure to an employee are often fatal. So making sure we're all up to date with what we're doing and protecting employees, I think, really important.
Okay. I'll offer the motion where's the motion now?
Just go.
I'll offer the motion to request acceptance of the February 7th, 2019 Power System Engineering Proposal for Professional Services to update the 2010 study.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to accept the February 7, 2019 Power System Engineering proposal to update the 2010 study indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a request to attend the MEA Gas Ops Forum in Branson. Right, is that next? Okay.
The gas supervisor is requesting attendance at the Midwest Energy Association Gas Op Forum for additional training on regulator station design concepts, federal level code updates, and plastic pipe rule changes. And it's a good chance for them to network with other gas industry professionals. I recommend allowing the gas supervisor to attend this conference, including registration, lodging, meals, and fuel. It's going to be around $1,600.
I'll offer the motion to authorize attendance at the Midwest Energy Association Gas Ops Forum to be held April 16th through the 18th, 2019 in Branson, Missouri.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor to authorize the attendance at the MEA training indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Now we're up to George, the Wellfield Assistance Wellhead Protection Plan implementation.
Right, I'm asking that you approve 2 contracts with this company. This company has not worked for us before, but their main employee has been working in our wellfield hydrology for the last 25 years. So one of the contracts, the first one, is wellfield assistance. We're detecting sand coming into our plant, and we need to find out where that sand is coming from, whether, as we suspect, it might be coming from a well. If that is the fact, then that means that we're getting failures in the casing of the wells. So they are offering to do that work and some well monitoring work for the amount of $5,000. The second contract is, and that $5,000 will come out of our professional engineering services budget. The second contract is to help us implement our wellhead protection program, and one of the portions of this is to be notifying people that may have wells in our protection area that need to be sealed, and also to monitor the water levels, and that will be paid for under the grant that we received last year in April, and that is an amount of $6,500. We have $7,900 in the grant.
Okay. I'll offer the motion to authorize the city manager to sign 2 contracts with Carlson McCain. The first for a wellfield assistance contract in the amount of $5,000, and the second a contract with Wellhead Protection Plan implementation grant work that will be reimbursed under the current grant in the amount of $6,500.
Second.
Does anybody have any discussion of the motion?
Do we pay to seal up wells that are discovered? Do we do that on our cost, or does the property owner?
The property owner does it. We can, if we apply for a grant, another grant, we can then offer some assistance to people to do that. The grant, as it happens, the next step in the grant process would opened up this Friday. So.
Okay.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion to authorize the city manager to sign the 2 contracts indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is to discuss battery backup equipment for our servers.
Good evening, President Heine, Commissioners. We've always had battery backups in our server room. We've typically sized them in the past to be able to support equipment in the event of a power outage for at least enough time to be able to gracefully shut equipment down so that we don't have any damage. However, when we implemented our new phone system, now we have the added responsibility of keeping the phones up in the event of a power outage. So our current setup wasn't quite enough to be able to keep things up for very long. The equipment that I'm asking you to approve the purchase of would give us a run time of about 4 to 5 hours in the event of an outage. It gives us a total of 3 units. We'd be purchasing 2 new units and expanding a 3rd unit that's already in service. And that gets us to what we have kind of figured out to be an industry standard of 4 to 6 hours, and that would put us solidly in the middle of that category. At least give us the opportunity to shut down equipment to be able to get 6 hours out of it if we need to.
I'll offer the motion to approve the purchase of battery backup equipment from SHI in the amount of $10,173.47.
Second.
Any discussion of the motion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is also from Nate regarding support for server equipment.
Yes. About 3 years ago, we virtualized all our servers, and we're really happy with the way that turned out. At the time, we purchased a 3-year support and service contract for those servers. Well, they came with that as part of the package. At that time, we weren't sure how that would work out, if we would be replacing the equipment after 3 years, after 4 years. Our current plan is to refresh that equipment next year in 2020. And so we need to have another year added on to the support of those servers so that we continue to get updates, and in the event that we have a problem, that they will help us.
Okay, move to approve the purchase of support renewal from CDWG in the amount of $5,697.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion to approve the purchase of support for renewal for CDWG indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we have some surplus property to consider from the electric department. Thanks for the pictures.
It took a while to figure that one out. Well, as you can see, with the upcoming demolition of the ash silo, I guess we're going in a different direction. I have probably about 2 garage fulls of ash burning equipment, coal handling stuff that's not going to be needed. Wondering if I can get permission to declare it surplus and dispose of. I don't know which way would be best. I know I put gov deals with Hunter, but most of it's going to be for scrap price. It might be just as easy to take it out to the scrap yard and get what we get for it.
Okay. I'll offer the motion to declare electric production department's coal burning and steam pumps as surplus property and authorize disposition pursuant to the requirements of the city code and charter.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is surplus department from the water steam department. No pictures.
I'm sorry, I didn't figure out how to do pictures. The drill bit sharpener is this tall, this big around, and weighs about 300 pounds. I don't know if a department ever used it, but for doing quite large drill bits. So we have a 4-mount drill bit sharpener and a Minolta Konica printer that we've had for 3 years. Going forward, we're going to probably lease equipment so that at the end of the lease, we get new equipment. This one got to the point where it would do 2-sided printing when it wanted to, and not the rest of the time. We had the service guys there like 10 times, and it would work for 2 or 3 sheets, and then it would stop again. So the current one is working fine, so I would ask that you'd allow me to declare them surplus and dispose of them. We're probably going to go on the .gov website, especially for the printer.
Sure.
I'll make the motion to declare the following water steam department equipment as surplus property and authorize disposition pursuant to the requirements of the city code and charter. A bit sharpener and a printer.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same
Thank you.
sign. Motion carries. Last item on the agenda is to consider our claims.
I'll offer the motion to consider to accept the list of claims paid in the amount of $3,121,247.28 and approve the list of claims to be paid in the amount of $264,248.54.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion to accept the list of claims paid and approve the list of claims to be paid indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And unless the commissioners have anything else?
I just have one quick item or announcement or recognition. There was outages or an outage on February 2nd and 3rd, and I just wanted to take some time to acknowledge the employees that stayed well beyond what they needed to say to get that outage taken care of and the city back up and running. I would like to thank assisting in the plant were the operators David Nidecker and Mike Ruby. The boiler operators were Bob Oswald and Joel Goltz, and Kathy Schaefer, who's an admin assistant, was helping answer the phone so that everyone can be free for the operations, and then Dave Keene as well. Thank you for your work and getting the city back up and running.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess we're adjourned.